Thanks, Greg. Hey, this product we're about to show you is very personal for me. When I sold Javelin Strategy and Research almost 10 years ago, I had no idea what I would do next. I was riding bikes around my ancestral country, the Netherlands, trying to figure out what my next gig would be. And it came to me, just focus on creating authentic goodness for other people in an industry that's often about just our own personal bottom line. So with that, my name is Jim Van Dyke, and this is Sal Bolaños. And we're going to, oh, shit.
Is your phone on?
Yeah, my card was compromised again, and they're giving me credit monitoring? That doesn't even make any sense. Now I gotta go figure out what to do. Anyway, go back. Your phone's going off. What's happening?
This shit's not funny. Dark
We
web.
gotta get back to this.
SSN. Yeah, it's not telling me what to do.
That happens to everybody.
It told me to change my password.
Well, that no wonder nobody does anything with this.
Wish there's something else out there.
Okay, so we're not great actors, but we did hopefully just show you something that you could all relate to, right? People are breached all the time. And so we've created a new capability that meets 4 consumer needs, or 4 needs of everybody that's here. And number 1 is the top consumer desire above all else is always stronger cyber and identity safety. Number 2, the reason consumers don't take action on those concerns is because, in their own words, survey after survey after survey, they are overwhelmed and confused about the choices, which we tried to act in our best skills possible. 3, where does most identity theft and fraud, which has a lot of different forms, where does most of it happen? At financial institutions and primary accounts. But we're going to show how we handle it in any category. 4, most of you as FIs or fintech leaders are here because you're looking for the next big thing in digital differentiation. So we think we found it. Sal, can you take us through it?
Absolutely. Hi, I'm Sal, obviously not an actor, head of UX at TransUnion and design. And so, again, like Jim, very passionate about this. I know we made it into a little comedian scene here, but I've sat with users, I sat with consumers, hell, I've even sat with partners that have seen and gone through breaches, and guess what? They don't know what the hell to do. And this is real. I mean, I can't keep iterating this. So our goal is to make sure that anytime you get a breach, you know what the hell to do. Okay, so we're gonna go in and log in, and just real quick, I think, as most of you are seeing today, is like this is going to be an example of our white label solution, or a hosted solution for that matter. So this means this could plug right into your own ecosystem. So we'll walk through that. It's also available through API. So with that, let's get in here. This is a fake bank too. So loading my information, and like anything, we need you to scan, right? And we're going to do some heavy, heavy scanning. And Jim's actually going to talk about it in a minute around kind of what's our differentiation when we do scan. So there's 3 steps: scan, results, action plan. I need to get to that action plan. So, but first things first is we're going to get to an ID safety score. And so you're probably seeing all kinds of different types of risk scores out there. This one's really unique because of what Jim's going to talk about. But there's 3 things we need the consumer to understand. It's least protected, are you slightly protected, are you most protected? People are always going to want to be most protected. It's going to be hard to get there, but with our action plan, we believe we can help people get there. You want to talk a little bit about the ID safety?
Yeah, so the ID safety score, and by the way, this was a startup that TransUnion went on to acquire, and I'm just so delighted that we're creating essentially the second gauge, credit scores and ID safety scores, that we think will be the future standard for how consumers manage their finances. So what do you need to know in broad strokes about the identity safety score? Well, it's a true AI expert systems algorithm driven by 1,300 variables. But the main 2 things that drive this for any consumer are your risk pattern, because everybody's been in different breaches. In a typical day, there are 10 to 20 new US data breaches. And the actions that consumers have taken, far beyond freezing or monitoring your credit or changing your password, the actions that consumers can take. So we've simplified all that and put that in UX. And Sal, if you didn't, you might have mentioned it, but he runs UX for TransUnion.
Sure do, Jim. Jim always forgets, but that's okay. But so think about our reactions earlier when we were getting pinged, right? All of you guys probably have either some dark web setup or some type of alert system going to your email all the time. If you get breached, are you going to sit there and go through all the alerts? Are you going to sit there and open every single one of them? I'm hoping not, right? Because again, I've seen consumers do it, and it's like a painful reaction. It's a huge pain point. we want to get you to this point, right? So this is summarizing all of those risks, right? Like, forget about those alerts. I'm not saying they don't have them, but let's get you to understand where you really need to pay attention. And so we've, for this example, 3 things, right? So I've logged in, I've gone here. These are the 3 things we need you to pay attention to. And so it's credit card fraud, tax fraud, and medical fraud. And each of these things are gonna give you a personalized action plan. So as Jim was talking about, this is very much all driven through the algorithm. So everyone's gonna have different action plans. Here, we'll focus on just 3 examples, but you're seeing an awesome example of me being at a 62. It's not that bad, but I have some work to do. So each of these things are generated again, and we're gonna break it down, simplify for consumers who might not know what this really is. So we are constantly just trying to simplify as much as we can, and if we're able to integrate through whether it's the bank or financial wellness app with the security systems, this becomes even more integrated and even more simplified for the consumer. So I just quickly went through one here, but here's another example of and these seem common, right? Set alerts, monitor for suspicious activity. If you don't have that available, we will guide you to a certain area where you can take action for that for free, right? But I'm gonna mark as complete. I'm gonna quickly get to this one, so leave Jim some time, where we're saying strengthen your 2-factor authentication. This is really critical because we can actually collaborate with the bank or the partner here and bring that to the forefront so the user actually can go ahead and take advantage of that quickly. And I'm doing this really quick for you guys. So voila, I've turned it on through here. So now it's on across this bank. Now I probably still have to do it for the rest of the partners I'm working with, but the bottom line is I brought it to you. So I'll wrap up there, Jim.
Thanks, Sal. So I want to be really clear. We have enterprise fraud products. This is for people in retail or wealth or with your corporates as principals in the business. This is about acquisition, engagement, and loyalty through something that you can't get anywhere else. And we'd love to hear your comments and questions on a break because we're at early stage. We have 30,000 people using it, but we're open to feedback. So thank you very much for your attention and have a great rest of your event, folks.